Alright, Malifaux fans, welcome back to another Malifaux video battle report. This is Crazy Carl from the Weird Forums, back with a 30 Soulstone scrap. Today we're going to be playing what was a very, very dreaded matchup for me. We had Ophelia, played by myself, versus Kirai, played by Twisted Metal, aka Chris from the Weird Forums. This match was not going to be a lot of fun for me. It was very reminiscent of my early games where I was proxying a crew and my buddy was proxying a crew and he had Kirai and I had Gremlins and just all the things he did. I'm like, really? What? You get guys? You get more guys? What? Huh? It was pretty brutal. So I was hoping I could try and turn it around with a little bit more experience now that I have a year or so later. So here you can see the board. I deployed in the bottom right-hand corner. Chris deployed in the top, kind of top middle. He spread out a little bit more than I did. I tried to keep my guys pretty close together so I can hopefully take advantage of Companion and get the drop on him and get a nice big alpha strike on Kirai at some point. Burn through some Station, hopefully kill her. It's kind of my goal. We got the terrain, got some line of sight blocking stuff, a forest, that stuff up in the top hand corner we just played as height 1, and I'm not sure what we were planning on doing with those tubes, but they were there because they look kind of cool. So here you see Kirai is with her 5 Station, Lost Love, a Gaki, Datsuba, a Cannon Remains, and a Desperate Mercenary, which she's going to use to turn into a bunch of free guys. And Chris had also brought along an Insidious Madness, which I just think is completely unfair with Kirai. It's such a good model for Kirai. It's almost like it was tailor-made for her. So good. But onto my deployment and my crew. I was deployed kind of in a cluster. I actually kind of split my deployment up a little bit. I had Francois and Rami off behind that forest there just to kind of act as bait because, something's going to die, more than likely. And then I had 3 Young Lacroix, a Slop Hauler, and then Raphael, Ophelia, and Peri Ravage. So that was pretty much my crew. I finished up painting the Young Lacroix, and I really wanted to get a game with them, so I figured, why not? I've been playing a lot of Summer lately, but I figured go for a change of place. So, getting into the points, we flipped for shared strategies, so we ended up having shared contained power. Probably not the greatest for me, but hey, what do you got? And then Chris had Steel Relic and Stake a Claim on the Giant Forest in my deployment zone. So pretty easy ones for him to do, I think. Not really hard for him to get up to my master. And she's only willpower 4, and there's not much I can do if he tries to steal the relic. So, good choices on Chris's part. So, I took 2 hidden strategies, 2 hidden schemes. I had contained power as well. I went for Thwart and Breakthrough. Thwart isn't. I really like Thwart a lot. It's something you can hide and you can get 2 points from it. And then Breakthrough is pretty easy, but I didn't want him to know I had it. Just so, I don't know how I was planning on hiding. I guess I was hoping to have Ophelia last until the end of the game, and then just jet her up 18 inches with 3 walk actions and take the Breakthrough that way. But as it were, it did not work out very well for me. Spoiler alert. So, turn 1 saw me do pretty much nothing. I moved up Rami and tried to take a shot and just was out of range. And then I had Francois take defensive stance and move up, forgetting that all of his guys can attack willpower and completely negate my defensive stance. So you can see that's the Shikome that Chris summoned after doing a bunch of shenanigans, and he did some damage to Francois but didn't kill him. He black jokered his damage flip and got poisoned on the second one. So this is a shot of just my crew moving up behind that wall and getting ready to kind of spring out and do whatever they need to get done. I put the young one up to be a little bit of bait because I figured that the rest of my models could kill off whatever he had. So here's an overshot of the board after turn 1. Chris was able to kill off the Desperate Merc and the Cannon Remains to get a Gaki and an Onryo in addition to extra corpse counters for the Gakis that he had. So they're going to be pretty much impossible for me to kill. Was not really looking forward to that. So here you can see a shot of Chris after turn 2, just kind of moved up his guys. He tossed a couple stations out. He had another station that was a little bit further forward that I took some shots at, but I couldn't hit because defense 4 is really good. And then snapped it back to Kirai when it became evident that I was going to try and kill it. Because one of the things I think is a good thing to do against Kirai is to try and kill the station, just because they're easy to kill, and it's a good way to get rid of them. So I made the mistake of putting up Ophelia and the Young Lacroix to try and kill off the Insidious Madness, because it's another very important model for him. And despite Soulstoning and I think a total of 4 attacks, I couldn't do anything to it. I did hit it once and then black jokered on the +++ damage flip for right between the eyes. I was hoping to get the severe and just kill it, but it didn't really happen. So as a result, Kirai was able to into the spirit world onto him and just pop up and surround me with guys. I burned through a lot of stones and didn't do much. I had Francois die, I made a mistake of just activating Francois and letting him die because I thought, it doesn't really matter. I forgot that if I had left Francois alive and then walked away with Rami, he wouldn't have been able to get disengaging strikes with the Shikome, and I could have actually done something to Rami, as opposed to leaving him there and having him be eaten alive. So, a lot of not very good play for me. I also it's brutal for the Gremlins because they don't rely on their squeal trigger, but it's really useful for getting out of tight spots. And almost all of the spirits are able to attack willpower and just completely avoid that squeal trigger, so not so good for me. So here's a shot of a couple guys just kind of hanging out, not really doing a whole lot. They're just kind of there. I think at this point in the game I had killed 0 of Chris's models, and he had summoned essentially an extra about 10 Soulstones, 14 Soulstones worth of models onto the board. So here's just a couple more shots of the board as a whole. You can see that Kirai was then able to move up, brought some station with her. She really wasn't threatened at all. I mean, at this point, we're going to turn 3. I had a Slop Hauler, Raphael, and Rami left. Rami was able to Red Joker a damage flip on Bash against the Shikome, which was pretty cool. I was able to do 2 damage. I was pretty impressed with that. That was pretty sweet. Better than doing 1 or 0. So, the game was pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. I moved up Raphael and cast Hooey because, why the hell not? I'd never cast that spell before, and it was pretty exciting. I did nothing as a result. I think, actually, no, it's not true. I killed Rami, despite putting Rami in defensive stance with Companion, and then did some damage to a couple spirits and didn't kill them because I forgot Gakis have 4 wounds because, that's pretty good. So, it was pretty brutal. Chris ended up, I think, 8-0ing me. It was not even close. It was a fun game. I had a good time. It's just I haven't played against Kirai in a while, probably, and I definitely made some poor choices. I should have moved Ophelia up to the side of the board where everything else was. I don't know why I was focused so much on the Insidious Bandits. I think I was really worried about killing the Insidious Bandits because I wanted to be able to Alpha Strike one turn, and it's not easy to do that when Kirai has an Insidious Bandits up her sleeve. So, poor decision making on my part, and just not good target selection, I guess. But that's the break. So that's how the game went out. It was a good game. Looking forward to the next one we play, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Sorry it was pretty short, but there it is, and see you next time.